we shall reflect on the life of Saint Thomas Becket. Son of a wealthy merchant hailing from Normandy, Thomas Becket was born in London and educated at Surrey and then in Paris. Having studied civil and canon law, Thomas of London, as he came to be known, became Archdeacon of Canterbury at the age of 37, when the young and ambitious Henry II ascended the English throne and insisted on appointing him Chancellor against his will. Thomas, who thus became the most powerful figure in the great kingdom, which at that time also comprised Normandy and all of western France, was a man of strong and handsome physique and a hard fighter who would unseat many a knight in battle. Theobald, the Archbishop of Canterbury, having died in 1161, Henry, after prolonged debate, nominated Thomas, again much against the latter's wishes and those of the monks of Canterbury. Thomas, genuinely devout and scrupulously moral, being on the most intimate terms with the monarch, warned the latter, "Thus, I know your plans for the church, and those you will put forth claims, which I, as Archbishop, must necessarily oppose." His life thenceforth became devoid of its former pomp and display, and Thomas sought for divine guidance in prolonged vigils, fasting, and constant prayer. Friction first started when Thomas insisted on resigning his chancellorship so as to be free of all civil ties, leading to open hostility with the king over Thomas's uncompromising resistance of the Constitution of Clarendon. These purported to be a record of accepted customs in church matters, but subtly included two revolutionary innovations which would have denied English ecclesiastical courts the right of appeal to Rome, and so would make English church law subject to the king's whims. Thomas alone of all the bishops realized the implications and continued to resist. The king now set in motion a policy of financial persecution, and under various pretexts imposed upon the See of Canterbury huge monetary fines. Finally, sensing grave danger to his life, the Archbishop in disguise fled to France, where he was received cordially by King Louis VII, and at Sens was able to submit his case to the judgment of Pope Alexander III, who had been exiled from Rome by the anti-pope. For 4 years negotiations went on with the English king, who meanwhile had confiscated all of Thomas's property and exiled his relatives. When reconciliation seemed at last to have been effected, Thomas returned to Canterbury in 1170, but within less than a month he knew his end to be imminent. On the 29th of December 1170, taking cognizance of the king's cry of anguish, 4 of His Majesty's knights slew the Archbishop with swords while at the altar in his own cathedral. The reaction to this atrocious deed was immediate and enormous. By popular acclaim, St. Thomas was immediately venerated as a martyr, and within 2 years was raised to the honors of the altar by Pope Alexander III.